Space, the final frontier. For centuries, it has captured the imagination of poets, scientists, dreamers, and explorers. But in the 21st century, it's no longer just a backdrop for science fiction or the domain of elite astronauts. Space is becoming a destination, a place people can visit, photograph, and return from. Space tourism, once a fantasy, is now a fast-emerging industry with billion-dollar potential and equally significant risks. As companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic race to commercialize the stars, the question looms larger than ever: is space tourism really worth the risk? The idea of traveling beyond Earth has always been steeped in prestige, danger, and ambition. In the early days of space flight, leaving the atmosphere required government approval, astronaut training, and years of preparation. Today, a civilian with enough money can buy a ticket to the edge of space, experiencing a few minutes of weightlessness and a view of Earth that only a handful of people have ever seen. It's marketed as the ultimate luxury experience and escape not just from the planet but from the ordinary. At the forefront of this movement are a handful of private companies. Virgin Galactic, led by Richard Branson, has focused on suborbital space flights using a spaceplane launched from a mothership. Blue Origin, founded by Jeff Bezos, offers a similar experience with its New Shepard rocket. Then there's SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk, which has taken things further, sending civilians into orbit and eventually aiming for the Moon and Mars. Each of these companies promises something extraordinary, but each operates under immense pressure: technical, financial, and ethical. For passengers, the appeal is clear. A trip to space offers not just bragging rights but a transformative experience. Astronauts often speak of the overview effect, a profound shift in perspective that comes from seeing the Earth from above, small, fragile, and borderless. For wealthy tourists, this is sold as enlightenment at 80 kilometers up. But while the journey may only last minutes or days, the risks are real and, in some cases, irreversible. Space flight, even in its commercial form, remains inherently dangerous. Rockets are complex machines operating under extreme conditions with massive energy and narrow tolerances for error. One small mistake can result in catastrophic failure. This has already been tragically demonstrated. In 2014, a Virgin Galactic test flight crashed, killing one pilot and seriously injuring another. Even SpaceX, known for its technological prowess, has experienced multiple launch failures. And while safety measures have improved, the margin for error in space remains razor thin. Beyond physical danger, there are questions about medical readiness. Unlike trained astronauts, most space tourists are not in peak physical condition. Microgravity, radiation exposure, and rapid pressure changes can pose serious health risks, especially for older or less fit individuals. Currently, there's no universal standard for evaluating whether someone is truly fit to fly. As commercial flights become more accessible, this could lead to unexpected medical emergencies in an environment where help is hours or days away. Then there's the environmental cost. Launching rockets isn't just risky, it's resource-intensive. Every liftoff releases massive amounts of CO and other pollutants into the upper atmosphere, which could have long-term climate effects. Critics argue that joyrides for the rich shouldn't come at the planet's expense. Others counter that commercial space flight will eventually lead to cleaner, reusable technologies that benefit humanity as a whole. Either way, the debate is intensifying. But despite these concerns, the demand is growing. Celebrities, entrepreneurs, and even contest winners are lining up to fly. Some see it as a status symbol. Others view it as a personal milestone. And companies are responding with ambitious plans: space hotels, zero-gravity concerts, lunar tourism, and even Mars colonization. What was once science fiction is becoming science business, and big business at that. The global space tourism market is projected to reach tens of billions in value over the next few decades. Still, deeper ethical questions persist. Is it right to pour vast amounts of money into luxury space flights when billions of people on Earth lack access to clean water? education, and basic health care. Should space be a playground for the wealthy or a shared human endeavor? Some argue that space tourism is a necessary step toward larger goals like planetary defense, space-based solar power, or multi-planetary survival. Others see it as a symptom of inequality where exploration becomes exclusionary. Governments and space agencies are also watching carefully. As private companies take on roles once reserved for NASA or Roscosmos, issues of regulation, liability, and jurisdiction come to the forefront. Who is responsible when something goes wrong in orbit? What laws apply in space? How do we ensure fair access and prevent the commercialization of a common frontier? These are questions that international bodies are only beginning to grapple with, and they will only become more urgent as more tourists take flight. Despite all the controversy, one thing is clear: space tourism isn't going away. The first wave of passengers has already flown, and more are scheduled every year. The technology is improving, the costs are slowly coming down, and public interest is climbing. For better or worse, we are entering an age where leaving Earth is no longer limited to scientists or soldiers. It's an option for those who can pay, and potentially, one day, for the masses. So, is it worth the risk? The answer depends on what we value. If we believe exploration is essential to human progress, then space tourism could be the first step toward a future of limitless possibility. But if we ignore the costs, human, environmental, and ethical, we risk turning a bold dream into a dangerous spectacle. As with any frontier, the challenge lies in balancing ambition with responsibility, wonder with caution, and access with care. The future of space tourism is both thrilling and uncertain. It carries the promise of new horizons, new experiences, and new perspectives. But it also forces us to ask difficult questions about safety, sustainability, and who gets to go. As we look to the stars, we must also look inward and ask not just how far we can go, but whether we're ready for what that journey truly means.